Part 2. This next verse is for my bosom buddies and long life pals, Mr. Charlie. You know I can't just let you slide on a video of such importance. Come on now. Mr. Charlie, are you sure the people you are propping up as Yah's holy people are the correct people? If you said yes, please explain this. Luke 21, 22 through 24. Quote, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled." Example. Mr. Charlie, did you catch the fact prophecies must still be fulfilled? If that is the case, Matthew 5, 17 through 20 should still apply today. You know, quote, "Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill." We all know the rest of the verse. And as far as I can see, the earth and heavens are still here, right? An even better question, Mr. Charlie. If the Israelites were led away captive to all nations, and Gentiles were going to occupy the city of Jerusalem until their evil reign of terror is finally complete and all prophecies fulfilled, obviously still ongoing, who in the heck are those people living in the city of Jerusalem today? And whatever your answer may be, if we are still in the times of the Gentiles, that can only mean the Israelites are still led away captive into all nations at the present. Am I right about it? Mr. Charlie, tell me if I'm right about it. Israel, allow me to ask you a question. If what the Anointed One said was true, and only if you believe in the Anointed One's prophecies, if we are still within this prophecy, that can only mean, quote, "led away captive into all nations," should still apply. And if that is correct, does that mean the Emancipation Proclamation and the Civil Rights Movement only gave you free range instead of freedom equals it's a freaking trick? It was just a question. I didn't mean nothing by it. I will finish this preamble with this. If your camp or elders do not incorporate each and every verse used in this short preamble within context and understanding, they are dead ass wrong. And listening to your doctrines, it will be hard as hell to do that and believe the actions of the apostles were righteous acts. I'm counting on the people who cherish their souls to bring it to you. And because I cherish the souls of those people, as Mr. Hebrew 1 says, under your kneecaps, I will give them another round of questions from a different perception to show you what the Anointed One truly said in contrast of the entire wayward New Testament perception. Called and chosen, mount up. Matthew 15, 23 through 27. Quote, "But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came in beside him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Example, maybe it's just me, but it doesn't sound like the Anointed One nor the disciples are in a helpful mood to the nations. Or it is what it is, people. He meant exactly what he said. He was only sent to the house of Israel. But wait! Even after she begged, he dissed her again. Sure, he finally helped the African sister out, but it was only because she was a pest with faith. Man, she had some real good faith. Uh, that was a pretty good comeback. I got to say it myself. That was a pretty good comeback. And not because he had any initial intentions on helping her. I would love to hear how the Israelites twist this and believe the entire New Testament, Acts on back, was a righteous time period. Now, I know most of you want to say that he came for the Jews first, but they rejected him. But we already busted that earlier. Let's go to the next death nail in their doctrine. John 11:52. Quote, "And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad." Example. Even the high priest knew what the initial mission of the Anointed One included: to speak and comfort the house of Israel. Remember, 10 tribes are already scattered. This is yet another confirmation of our earlier understanding. You remember, the apostles would not have gone over the cities of Israel before the Anointed One returned. But let's look at one all of you have used. That's it. Let's look at one of all of you have used. Even on me. But just like you are wrong about your boy, I perceive you missed the true point in this one too. Matthew 23:15. Quote, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves." Example. According to the Smith Bible Dictionary, under proselyte, quote, "the name given by the Jews to foreigners who adopted the Jewish religion." Now, step back for a second and reason within yourselves before you speak, ladies and gentlemen. There is no explanation I can think of, and I've thought about it a lot, but the explanation escapes me that would explain this verse if the Anointed One had any intentions on his good news reaching any Gentile, meaning outside of the set apart that will seek refuge among us from the nation's ear. Wink, wink, Mr. Malongo. Why? Because it is Yah who chooses the person who shall search him out. Yah doesn't need your or my gift for gab to gain supporters. In essence, what the Anointed One is saying is, it does not make a difference if you want to come towards the light or not. It is Yah's decision whether your name is written in the book of life or not. Now hold it. Before we go on, am I the only person with an analytical eye to figure out? Proselytes had to do the laws, the same amount as those who sojourned among us when Yah reigned over Israel, and more. Why more? Because by this time, the Pharisees had added their man-made laws on top of the laws of Moses. This can only mean the chastisement wasn't a matter of them being heathens like the barbarian Gentiles. And this can only mean the inclusion of the Gentiles by the apostles, under just 4 laws, mind you, was dead as wrong. But we will start on that journey tomorrow. But as far as this preamble and doctrine death nail is concerned, let me give you one more to marinate your brain and perception today, so you will be tender and ready to soak up Yah's flavor tomorrow. John 4:19-23. Quote, "The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. The Messiah said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Who to worship who? To worship him. Wait a minute. It doesn't say to worship the anointed one, does it? No, it says to worship him. Okay, example. This verse is a red flag for many obvious reasons. One, the woman speaking is a Samaritan. That means they knew and practiced our laws, remember? So in essence, this woman was closer to being a true Hebrew than any Gentile or proselyte. Not only having knowledge, but also practicing the laws and customs that were pleasing to Yah. Yet, what did the anointed one tell her? I'm paraphrasing. Woman, you nor your daddy know what you're talking about. Salvation is of the Jews. Soon, none of y'all are going to be around here worshiping nothing. Now, I know that was kind of Southern fried hood, but accurate when you look at the context of the story. I am going to let you go now because I know you have many things to ask the minister watchman. Do not fall for his smoke screens and mirrors, people. If their entire doctrine doesn't line up with all of the anointed one's commands, they are full of shit. And I don't know how on earth they are going to do that and not believe the rest of the New Testament, meaning the Gentile inclusion, was nothing more or less than unintended consequences by common men who do common things. Oh yeah, one last thing. It doesn't matter to me if you like this message or hate this message. Just don't be indifferent to it. Indifference equals wide gate of destruction. Pick a side. Don't make me go to your beloved book to prove my point. You know I'm not above it. What? All right. What does the book of Revelation say about people who are lukewarm in the end days? Tell me. Now, I didn't want to go there, but you challenged me via mind mail. With that being said, thank you for looking at this video and look for the next.